When I had Reese, during my pregnancy, I was determined. Nothing in my mind, I did not, because of the situation, I just was like, I was raped. I do not want this baby. Reese was supposed to be aborted early on, but God intervened. That's why I say he has a purpose, and I'm so thankful for that. But during the pregnancy, I knew I was very set on he was not going to be a part of my life like that. And so when I had Reese, and I remember getting into the hospital, and they gave me a doula, had a doula with me, and she was encouraging. St. Elizabeth set me up with a doula. She was so encouraging. And she was like, you could do this. And I remember Tina and Ryan get to the hospital, and Dr. Hammond, which was my OBGYN at the time, he was a part of my adoption plan. And he was like, it's time for you to push. And I struggled during delivery with Reese. I struggled because I'm like, I'm having a baby from a sexual assault. How am I gonna do this? And Tina and Ryan came in, and I tried to show them I was big and strong. I remember delivering him, and I had my hands in my ears, and I was like, I don't want to hear him cry. Take him out. Please take him out. And I remember my doula was like, you did good, you did good. And Ryan got, I gave them I tried to give them the birth experience as much as possible. So I allowed Ryan to cut the umbilical cord. And I remember I can't still hear it right now. I can hear him crying in my ears, and I was like, please take him out. Please take him out. And so I had him. I didn't get to see him. I remember Tina and Ryan coming and giving me a big hug, and I didn't get to see Reese that first day. I remember I was like hyperventilating so bad, and I remember them giving me something, and I slept the whole day after I had him. And that next day, I think Miss Terry came and was like, let's go see him, And I was like, I don't know if I could do this, Miss Terry. She was like, let's go see him. And I went downstairs, and the hospital had given Tina and Ryan their own room with Reese. And I think St. Elizabeth set that up because I told them I didn't want to bond with him. I don't want that to sound harsh, but it was just for my own peace of mind. And Miss Terry and them set it up where they had their own room with Reese. And I remember walking in the room, and all the nurses were looking at me like it was just like they all looked at me. And one of the ladies, I remember, I could still see her, she was crying. And Tina was holding him, Reese, and she gave him to me. And at that moment, I was like, can I do this? I looked at him and I was like, I can't do this. I want to keep him. I can't do this. And so I remember Miss Terry, I was like, I can't hold him, Miss Terry. I gave him back to his mom, and I ran outside, and Miss Terry came, and she was like, you can do this. You can do this. And she encouraged me. I went back to my room, and Miss Terry left. The nurse came in, and I was just crying. And the nurse was like, you don't have to give him up. And, she kind of overstepped her. And she was like, you don't have to go do this. I'll go get your baby. And I was like, no, I'm just, I guess, going through the motions. And she actually went and told them that I didn't want to give him up for adoption. And I remember Miss Terry coming in later on, and she was like, what's going on? Tina and Ryan came to the agency, and that's something that I didn't like. That's the part of this, I did not like that for Tina and Ryan, because they had told them I had changed my mind. And Miss Terry came in, and she was like, what's going on? And she was like, Tina and Ryan came to the agency, they're crying because they think you changed your mind. And I was upset. I was livid, because that was not what was happening. And that's something that sticks with me to this day is because I wanted their experience with adoption to go as smoothly as possible. Even though I was struggling personally with if I'm able to do this or not, I feel like I just wanted their adoption experience to go smoothly. And that's something that sticks with me to this day. It's like the hospital told me I changed my mind when that's not the case. I was struggling internally with that, but that was something that I did not feel like they needed to know or, needed to experience.